Happy Friday. Mayor Dan Pope with a weekly update. Hope you've had a great week. I want to look back at our council meeting, a couple other things this week before I look forward to next week. First of all, council meeting on Tuesday night. I guess the two big items I want to report on are our priorities. We spent time looking at our council priorities. If you followed that over the last 6 years, you know that there's not been a lot of change. It's what you would expect. It's the things like, fiscal discipline. It's public safety. It's our neighborhoods. It's about good jobs, economic development and redevelopment. And it really hasn't changed a whole lot. We will tweak it a little bit, likely approve that at our meeting on February 8th. You might want to go back and watch that on video on demand if you choose to. Street bond. I can tell you that the street bond proposition will not be back in front of the voters in May. We made that decision that effort's got to be done by mid-February, and we've not put we chose not to get that started. However, we still are going to potentially discuss whether or not to appoint a citizens group to look at it. Their work would be handed off to the new council sometime this summer. Stand by for news on that, but those needs don't go away. I think that's the thing I hear from the council over and over. I had a chance to participate in the Blue Sand project this week. Now that's from the State Attorney General's office and the Governor's office. It's supported locally by our law enforcement and a number of our community social service agencies. The idea is that we need to highlight and fight human trafficking. And the blue sand, you may have seen it poured in different on sidewalks around town. We don't want any victims of human trafficking to fall through the cracks. We've got great resources in our community to address those. It's a very real problem, and it was great to be a part of that. You can look it up if you want more information about that. Unfortunately, this week we canceled Coffee with the Mayor. We weren't certain exactly what the weather was going to be like early on Wednesday morning. And in an abundance of caution, we've just pushed it back. We'll be back at Parkway in February and look forward to that, certainly. We had very good and interesting data regarding employment. I hear a lot of you asking me how are we today versus pre-pandemic, so basically 2 years ago. So our unemployment rate is down to 3.3%. We went into the pandemic at about 3%, so very, very close to where we were. Here's the stat that I think is most interesting. There are more jobs in Lubbock today than there were 2 years ago. And there are more people working. So more jobs and more workers in those jobs. So that's good news. That sort of bears out the move, the growth, the housing growth in our community, where we see lots of single family and duplexes being built, and at the same time, really no change in our multifamily occupancy rate. So very strong economy, and I thought you might be interested in hearing that. A couple more quick things as we look forward. One, there's some big basketball games being played over the next few days. Red Raiders play a SEC team, Mississippi State, on Saturday night, and play the Evil Empire comes to town on Tuesday night. I don't have to tell you much about that. Great basketball going on at Lubbock Christian, men and women. And finally, next Thursday night, the 3rd, the Lubbock Matadors, our new minor league soccer team, will be having their official kickoff in Lubbock. It's at 2 Docks. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. next Thursday night. Those guys are off to a great start. I'm looking forward to having them here. I hope you have a great weekend. I appreciate your support, your good ideas, your encouragement, your words of prayer. I look forward to talking to you next Friday.